Monterey Peninsula. It's so good to see everybody here on this drippy, dippy Monterey morning. Thank you all for coming out, for answering the call to adventure. How many of you are new? Raise your hand. Awesome, welcome. So I'm going to tell you just briefly orientation about Creative Mornings. Creative Mornings is just, this Monterey chapter is just one of 244. Wow, that's a lot of chapters worldwide. Yeah, I thought it was 144, but there you go. And it's a place for uplifting creative community. So anybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome here. And it's so great to see so many returning faces and new and old friends. Hey, it is a crazy time with AI. How many of you have tried ChatGPT's new image generator? Raise your hand. Yeah. So you can sign up for ChatGPT for a free account, open the app up on your phone, and you can type in anything you want, and it'll create images for you. And you can save them to your camera roll and post them. So this image here had it's called an alt image text description. So I took that text description from Creative Mornings HQ and I put it into ChatGPT and it created this. And I mean, isn't that awesome? So these things can be created by anybody now. So the democratization of graphic design is really upon us. Yes. Well, they're using these tools. They can do much more, for less money. All right. So I'm your host, Mike Buffo. And before I tell you about myself, I just want to promote something really cool that I've talked about in the past. But if you like this coming in person, you might enjoy attending events like this from home. And they're called field trips. They're Zoom meetings, but the statistics on the Creative Mornings Zoom sessions are really cool. They're really high-level creative content, and you're all free members of the Creative Guild because you created an account to come here to RSVP. And so you can also search for field trips, and you can RSVP to those and show up live. And the average participants is 452. Registered attendees, average live is 212. 5 to 8 of those a week. And they're 60 minutes to 75 minutes long, and they're all free. And if you want to watch the replays, a lot of them are posted on YouTube. I don't like watching live events posted as replays. I like the experience of doing it live and interacting. But, to each his own. They're all available, too. So field trips, check those out. All right, hi. So my name is Mike Buffo. My company is House of 8 Media, and I produce videos here on the Monterey Peninsula. But my training, my experience has been in acting. I spent 2 decades in the theater world, and I find a lot of my training in telling stories in front of the camera is translating behind the camera now. So I really like being the technical foundation for other people to become directors and storytellers. And so that's what I'm all about. So if any of you have a movie on your heart and mind, let me know, and I can help that come into fruition and make it a reality, or a training course, or a documentary, or anything you want. Our global sponsor is Adobe. They sponsor Creative Mornings worldwide, and just want to take a moment to thank Adobe for their great sponsorship, for supporting Creative Mornings and the work we do here. So let's hear it for Adobe. Our creative partners here, you've heard about House of 8 Media, but our big host here today is Wave Street Studios. Let's hear it for Wave Street Studios. Rhett and Judy Smith built this place, and they have graciously donated this venue. They're also donating their time back there in the switcher, recording this show, switching it live. The coffee and everything's provided by Wave Street. And they would love it if you thought of this space first for your next company gathering, your retreat, your board retreat, or party. And also, this is big news, they just launched their new website, okay? It's been a long time coming. They've been working on it for many years, and it's just up now, so I encourage you all to check it out. This website is your resource for finding out the calendar of events here, also the description of renting this place, the rates for the venue as a wedding space. They also do a lot of proms. They did a lot, like York, Santa Catalina, some schools in South County. They've been coming all the way over here, Watsonville, and having their proms here. It's been a lot of fun. So Yeah, think of Wave Street first for your next thing. They also do a lot of recordings here. So if you want to record a concert or a podcast or a TV show, you can do right here in this cool space. All right, this month's sponsor is Monterey On Tonight. Again, with Gary Morris. I'm going to invite Gary up. Come on up here, Gary.
Good morning. What do I do?
Gary is a
What do I do?
conversation expert.
I've been talking since I was, That's what I do best. Is talk.
He asks great questions.
Thank you so much.
To make people
tell their
open
story.
up.
They got to tell their story. Everybody's got a story.
And he creates content based on people's stories
Yeah.
every week for 3 hours.
3 hours live television every week. And why did I do that? Because 3 years I almost passed from COVID. So I decided I wanted to do something that was going to be fun, and I'm doing it now. And there's not very many people, thank you. There's not very many people that think about when they wake up in the morning, what are they going to do today for fun? You are all doing it right now. You're here, and this is fun, right? Okay. And you meet a lot of new people, very interesting people. Anyway, the show is called Monterey On Tonight. That's my caricature. And that was done at Fisherman's Wharf, actually, many years ago. So we used it for the TV show. But we're on television in 2 markets live every Sunday night from 6 to 9 o'clock over the air. We also stream it live worldwide on the website, and now we have an app, Monterey On Tonight. So go to the App Store. You'll see last Sunday's show. It repeats over and over and over until the new show comes on. And I'm always looking for co-hosts. In fact, guess what? Your speaker for today is going to be a co-host. Now, she lives in Arizona, so we're going to have to figure out how we get her back here to be a co-host live. And Rebecca, I've been looking for her for a long time to be a co-host. So. Right?
She's very expensive.
I heard that. Somebody told me that. Said, why? Good luck getting her. So, but anyway. Anyway, it's fun to be here. If you know anyone that would like to be a guest on the show, please let me know. Let me know if there's anyone that would like to be a co-host. Lady just walked in, has been a co-host 3 times. Katie Brazzoni.
Hey,
Katie, hey,
Let's
Katie.
hear for Katie. Welcome back, Katie.
Katie is working on being 5 co-hosts, and when you're a 5 co-host on the show, you get a gift, a big-time gift. Yeah, see, guys didn't even know that. So anyway, but it's easy to find. Just go to Monterey On Tonight on Google. You'll find the website and watch, and let me know if you know of anybody that would like to talk about their business, talk about themselves. It's about a 15-minute interview. And because Katie's a coach, and she's got a business, so in case you didn't know, okay. Anyway, Mike, thank you.
Thank you, Gary. This month's global Creative Mornings theme is Crossroads. And I put in a little blurb about Crossroads into ChatGPT, and I created this. Right here. We all reach turning points in life that change the course of our destiny. That's all I typed in to the image generator and give me this. So I just want to encourage you to get up with these, get back there, to try these tools out. And you can do fun stuff like this. Gary was at a crossroads during COVID, and he decided to follow his dreams and do something fun with the years he has. And I think we're going to be connected up with the crossroads that we're all facing this day and age. And so to help us set the tone for this, I'm going to invite Rebecca to come up here. Rebecca has been a speaker here, and she's been a speaker in many, many places. Okay, I'm going to invite Rebecca up. If you don't follow Rebecca on Instagram, you're missing out, because she puts a lot of energy on the daily into this. Alessia does too, and our speaker you'll hear about in a minute. But I love following people like this because it inspires me to share when I'm excited, and when I have something to share or insightful to give away. Because I believe the more I give away my talent, the bigger it grows. And Rebecca lives that. She gives a lot away. So follow her and listen deeply, and let's hear about Crossroads. Come on up here.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be back and to be able to have the honor of introducing today's speaker. But when I was thinking about the theme of Crossroads, my personality type is the enthusiast or the visionary. Enneagram 7, which we have in common. And actually, many of us have in common that I know in this room. And we're someone that loves to jump into opportunity and into adventure. And so when we think about Crossroads, we often think about like big decisions, big changes. When I decided with my husband to move to Monterey 9 months ago, it felt like that was a crossroad, right? Moving my family to a different place. But the crossroads don't just happen in the big moments, in the big decisions, in those like pivotal things. Really, crossroads are about like what we do every day, right? We don't become the version of ourselves, the highest version of ourselves from just one choice, from one moment. We become it from choosing a different version of ourselves over and over and over and over. It's in the habits, it's in the identity that we create. And when we think about that, it's like, how do you create a different identity? It's not through sheer will. As much as I've tried, I can tell you that alone doesn't work, right? It's not just willpower, determination. It's really those daily choices that take us from where you are today. Like today is a crossroad. Every moment. For me, it's like, do I delete Apple TV off of my phone and listen to an audio book instead? That's a very small crossroad, but it can take me to a very different place. Have any of you read the book Hatchet? Was it required reading in 3rd grade? I'm reading that to my children. It's such a good book. If you didn't know, there are 4 more books after that. I know, we're reading number 2 right now. But it's a story of a young boy and the pilot of the plane he's in, he's 13, has a heart attack and jerks the handle and the boy ends up flying straight. But the point is in that moment, that little jerk takes him 150 miles off course. And he ends up in the wilderness and survives for 54 days. And so often we look at these little decisions that we make as just minute things that doesn't really matter. And we fail to recognize the fact that those are actually little crossroads. They take us in a slightly different direction, right, from the path that we might be on. But we also have the privilege and the opportunity that every single day, the responsibility, that every single day as we make these choices, we get to recreate who we become. And today's speaker, Alessia Citro, is such an incredible example of this. I mean, she has led teams at Google and Salesforce. I mean, she's done unbelievable things. You look at her LinkedIn and you're like, this is incredibly impressive. But what's much more inspiring is that she realized that success is really, truly about fulfillment and alignment. And that the path to that is through those daily choices, those daily habits, those small actions that take us from where we are to the highest version of ourselves. So she is the best-selling author of Higher Self Habits. She is also a top-ranked podcast host. She is a mentor to emerging thought leaders. And I am so excited to hear her speak today. She's also a dear friend and a client. I'm so excited to hear, because all of us, no matter where we are in our lives, we all have this daily opportunity to become a better version of ourselves, to be at a crossroads. And I'm excited today, and I'm sure I'm going to go delete Hulu and Apple TV off of my phone right after this. And maybe I'll keep it off for more than a week. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Alicia.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here with you in Monterey. This is a little different than the weather I left behind at home. It's 85 degrees already in Scottsdale, a little early for that. So you're all complaining about this drizzly weather, but I'm here for it. So before we get started, I would love to get your buy-in on 3 things. So the first is, I really like it to be interactive. I don't know if any of you have spoken in front of a crowd and they're all just like sitting there staring at you. It's the pits. And it's way more fun if you're all engaged. Now, if you do want to just sit and stare at me too, that's okay. But if you're so inclined, if at any point I say something that resonates with you or I affirm an experience you've had, do me a solid and just go like this. Give me a little hand tap or whatever version that you want to do. Yeah. So let's practice real quick. So who's hyped up that it's Friday? Yes. Okay. Now let's affirm an experience we've had. Who's ever had a habit that they could not make stick? Yeah. Okay. Who's ready to change that starting today? Okay, you guys are quick learners. Love this crowd. Okay, second thing I'd love to get your buy-in on. I joke that I'm not allergic to anything except BS. So with your permission, I would like to be really honest, really real with you and share some personal stories. Is that cool? Okay, yeah, hand tap. Good, yes. And then third and finally, There are some points in this talk that you might feel called out, like, oh, she's speaking right to me. Okay, if that happens, I'd like to reframe that I am not calling you out, I'm calling you up. And that feeling is your higher self nudging you, saying, hello, I'm in here. All right, we good with that? Okay, so let's start here. Time travel with me for a moment. Close your eyes if you feel so inclined, and I want you to imagine yourself lying in bed at a very ripe old age, real ripe. And as you sit in this bed, you're hearing a beautiful story being told to you of a life well lived. And I'm talking like a masterpiece of a life, full of love, full of impact, meaningful contribution, adventure, achievement, potential reached, possibilities expanded. And as you're listening to this story, you realize this is the story of your life. But here's the catch. It's the life that you could have had if only you had navigated life's many crossroads with better decisions. So, with your permission, I would like to help you step into this version of you that you were created to be through life's daily choices. So, to tell you a little bit about me and why I am talking to you about Crossroads today, I was thinking about this morning. The Carl Jung quote, he says that up until 40, you're just doing research. I turn 40 later this year. Let me tell you, your girl's done a lot of research. A lot. I have been gifted with, it's a gift and an Achilles heel of going to extremes. So I've done everything from being successful in tech, like Rebecca mentioned, to then having that identity stripped from me in the pandemic, which is another story for another day. Then becoming an entrepreneur. Then having a 7-figure wine business that then led me to become a high-functioning alcoholic, to walking away and now being sober for over 2 years and coaching people on habits. Yes, thank you for that. Speaking of habits, it's funny that I wrote a book. Actually, let me prop this up. The water bottle is a prop and also something that I'm going to use later, but okay. So speaking of habits, it's funny I wrote a book about this topic because I really had very few healthy habits to speak of. So I'm like, well, I got to turn this ship around. So let me become a subject matter expert on it. Read all the books, wrote a book on it, became a best-selling author. And one of the only females who writes about habits, by the way. All those habits books that we love, they're all written by dudes, like some mine. So go grab it. I have some in the back. We'll talk about that later. And finally, I went from being really burned out, feeling hopeless, feeling lost, to finally feeling harmonious and peaceful most of the time. Okay, it still is not perfect, very much a work in progress. And I want to help all of you get to that point too, to just have more peace and more fun, like Gary said, throughout your days. So the way that we do that is by focusing on the meta and then going into the granular. So let's go meta for a second. In order to become who you were created to be, you must change your habits and you must approach them with fresh eyes. I'm curious, show of hands, how many of you think that habits are like it's almost like a dirty word? You hear it, you're like, oh, that thing I have to do that I don't want to do. Anyone? Yeah, that's how I felt about it actually. But I'm hoping that today I can give you a fresh twist on it so that you'll see it as less of a drag and a lot easier to do and fun, per Gary. All right, so let's go meta for a second. I was faced with a crossroads in the summer of 2022. I was voluntold as the only person in my large family that likes public speaking that I would deliver the eulogy for my grandparents' joint memorial service. Now, my grandparents were incredible people. Anyone else? I'm originally from Iowa. Anyone else in here from the Midwest? Oh, wow, we're not in Scottsdale anymore. Everyone there's from the Midwest, with just a few of us. Okay. Well, for the rest of you, if you were to imagine salt of the earth, Midwestern farmer types from the greatest generation, some version of my grandma and grandpa would be who comes to your mind. They were married 76 and a half years. They both lived to be 97 and a half. And they were so in love till the end. They loved their family above all. Like I said, big family. That was the focus. They were well-traveled. They traveled the lower 48 states and Canada by car and made friends everywhere they went, by the way. They had hobbies and interests that they cultivated. They had a vibrant social life. They put my social life to shame, and I'm kind of a social butterfly. Like, they were the epitome of a life well lived. So I'm refining and reflecting and practicing this eulogy, and I realize if I were to die here and now, or at 100 years old, if I continue on this track I'm on right now, I don't like what is said at my funeral if people are being honest. That was a really hard truth to grapple with. And to give you an idea of what's going on at this time, this was early June 2022. I was about a year into entrepreneurship, and I went in so cocky. I'm like, oh, honey, yeah, I'm going to quit my job. I'm making the most money I've ever made in my life, but I'm going to quit my job. I'll replace the income in 3 months because I help businesses remove their bottlenecks. This is going to be easy. Haha, humble pie. Was struggling hardcore my first year of entrepreneurship in every way, financially, emotionally, you name it. I was also, like I told you about the wine business, I was also drinking a bottle of wine a night most nights, telling myself it was okay because it was organic and didn't have sulfites in it. Okay. I know you laugh, but it's true. And I had bragged about being like a corporate dropout, but I had taken all the toxic crap from my corporate life and brought it into entrepreneurship. I was chained to my desk still. Yes, we get the hand tap. Chained to my desk, not going outside, staring at the screen all day, chasing profit over purpose. And most importantly, I was not the present wife and mother that I wanted to be. And I had this like out of body experience of like, if I don't correct course right now, like I don't like the way this story ends. And so I had to make a decision. So the first part of this is becoming aware. Like, what are the things that are actually holding you back that need to be corrected? Because if you don't have awareness of that, you're just going to bang your head against the wall. And then awareness of also what it is that you want. And then you align to that. So I wrote a book called Higher Self Habits because if I'm acting like my higher self, which we can all have different definitions of that, but essentially it's like, who was I created to be? Like, why am I put on this earth? What is the best version of me? Yes, affirmative. What does the best version of me do day in and day out? And then once you align to that, you got a decision to make, right? So did you know the word decide, and we can actually learn a lot from this word. The Latin roots means to cut off. So all your prior ways of being, all the excuses, all the BS, you cut it off. You burn the boats. For those of you who don't know this story, there was like some battle, I don't know, in Greece or something, let's just say. I might be getting it wrong, but the concept is there. And they were like, we got to win this battle. And so the commander's like, yeah, we do. So burn the boats. You either win or you die because there's no retreating. So if you are at a major crossroads of your life, what is it that you need to decide? Then you got to burn the boats. You cut off all the ways back to that. Now, things also get more granular, which we'll get to in a moment. But to help you inform this higher identity, I'd love to ask you, what do you think the odds are that you, uniquely you, with all of your special quirks, your specific DNA, what do you think are the odds that you exist? Well, ChatGPT helped me do the math. I can walk you through the biology lesson of how I arrived at this later if you're curious. But the odds are 1 in 40 trillion. That gives me goosebumps just like saying it again. Think of how you operate in your day-to-day when you're just like going through the motions and like doubting yourself versus like, the odds that I exist on this spinning rock through space, right here, right now, talking to all of you that also are 1 in 40 trillion. Yes, hand tap it. It's like, wow. Like I would walk a little taller if I remembered that the odds of me even being alive are 1 in 40 trillion. Like all of us were born to do something great. The way that we go about it is through the minutia, the daily decisions. So let's have this mantra. I talk about this in my book a lot. I've got lots of exercises and reflections under the banner of Be Her Now or Be Him Now, whatever you want to do. What can you do right now to be them now? And can you carry that through in everything that follows? So when you think about, well, what does it mean to be them now? You have to lock in on the identity. Well, here's the truth about identity. It functions like a thermostat. And let me prove it to you. Lottery winners provide a wonderful example for this. I'm sure there are a lot of factors that contribute to this phenomenon, financial literacy being a big one. But 33%, 1/3 of all lottery winners will go bankrupt. Now, I asked ChatGPT, I was like, be my research buddy. What's the general population of the United States rate for bankruptcy? It's less than 0.2%. Yeah, I was surprised by that too. Big gap, big gap. So why is that? I would make the argument that the lottery winners who went bankrupt did not have the thermostat setting that allowed them to hold the wealth. So in this example, let's pretend that a lower temperature is worse and a higher temperature is better. How does a thermostat function? So let's say the thermostat in this room is 70 degrees. We open all the doors. What's going to happen? Heater's going to kick on to bring it back up to 70. If we teleport and go to my house in Scottsdale where it's already oppressively hot and we do the same thing, the AC is going to kick on. It's going to bring it back down, right? So if you have a 50-degree thermostat setting for wealth, let's just say, and you come into 100 degrees worth of fortune, what do you think happens? You can't. Oh yeah, that air conditioning kicks on big time to get you back to where you're comfortable. So what does that look like? Looks like maybe spending it, buying a Bugatti or something like that, gambling it away, giving it away, otherwise losing it, right? You got to get back to where you're comfortable. And this is true for every area of life. It's true for your business success. It's true for your faith, for your fitness level, for the quality of your relationships, all of it. So how do you raise the setting? Well, a couple ways. One, you can get in rooms like this and hang out with people who are actively working to raise their setting. You can find, for example, I'm trying to raise my thermostat setting in business right now. So what do? I hired this lady right over here, Rebecca, to help me up-level it, right? And I hang out with Melissa, who's also helping me level it up. So it's proximity. Do this for any area of your life. You want to get fit? Go hang out with people who are fit, right? Think about that. You're going to leave here and you're going to be like, oh, who am I? Oh, yeah, that tracks. Okay, I got to find some new friends for that area. This is true for your faith, for relationships, for everything. So if we want to have that big meta result of a life well lived, it starts, we go grandiose. It starts with granular. So how do we do that? We start by auditing, and I like to do this through the lens of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, I see snaps, yes, we love Mr. Maslow, probably Dr. Maslow, no disrespect. He created this hierarchy as basically a way to inform what needs need to be met in order for you to have stability and harmony in your life. So at the bottom of the pyramid's physiology. This is like the basics that keep you alive, right? For the sake of our discussion on habits, it's, are you hydrated? Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating nutrient-dense foods at regular intervals? Are you getting some sunlight? Or are you staring at your computer all day, right? Guilty as charged sometimes. Exercise, yeah. Are you out moving your body at all? Do you have shelter? Do you have clothing? We've all checked that box, but these are the basics, right? Then from there, it's stability. So this could look like, do you feel safe in your home and in your neighborhood? Or are you, maybe under financial stress, paycheck to paycheck? Like that's a stressful thing that will hurt your stability. After that is connection. So even the most introverted of introverts, even though they don't want to admit it, they're social creatures too. We all need love, connection, belonging. So what support system do you have in place through friends, family, mentors, peers, colleagues? We want to do big things, but we can't do it alone. Then next, yes, hand tap. You guys are a great crowd. Okay. Next up is self-esteem. So things like, do I feel competent in my field? Do I feel generally capable of what life throws at me? Do I like the way that I look? Do I respect myself? Things like that. And then finally, self-actualization. This is where all of us would love to be all the time. This is when you're just living your best life. You are doing exactly what you were created to do. You are in your purpose. You are making impact. You have hobbies and interests that stimulate you and expand you. Like truly living your best life. So most of us want to hang out where? In the top two parts of the pyramid. But we can't do that because if we spend our attention stacking the top, I love this game by the way, and I'm like toxically competitive at it by the way. If we spend all of our time stacking on the top, it falls. So we need to really focus our efforts on the bottom three. Now, what that can look like. I'm curious, do you think, we have creatives in this room, right? Do you think you can do your best creative work when you are dehydrated, sleep deprived? Like sleep deprivation is a form of torture for a reason, right? Actually, quick side note, I run a book club and we're reading Essentialism by Greg McKeown right now. And he has a chapter on sleep that I was reading last night and I felt like he was calling me out. So I'm like, I'm actually not gonna complete this week's reading and just get more shut-eye instead. He talked about the best violin players in the world. Part of why they were the best is because they got more sleep than the people who were just under them, right? I was like, ooh, shots fired, okay. Can you also do your best work if you're hangry? Like how many times, who's gotten in a fight with their partner because they've been hangry? Yeah, that carries over to your work too. It's not good. So it's really important that we focus on these bottom 3 layers. So I want you to focus on your starting point. I'm going to show you how to design behavior. So pick something in the bottom, and really importantly, not a habit you want to stop, a habit that you want to start. And the reason for this, I tell all of my habits clients this. You want to build momentum and build confidence by adding something first. After that, then you can subtract. So I want you to think for a moment. Is it doing things that promote your general health, like taking a walk every day? Is it flossing your teeth? Is it washing your face at night, if that promotes how you feel overall? Is it drinking more water? Is it eating regularly? I want you to think about your habit right now. Take just a second here. Everyone got what they want to add in? Okay, now turn to your neighbor and tell them what it is. And then I'm going to show you how to build it. All right, everyone ready to come back? If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can, oh wow, that was effective. Okay. So now you have your habits. I was eavesdropping, and a lot of you chose the one that I'm going to give you the example of, which is perfect. Now we're going to move into activation. Okay. I will be so bold as to say, if this is the only thing you remember from the time we've spent together this morning, it may well be one of the best hours and change that you have ever spent in your life. Because what I'm going to show you, you can teach to your partners, your children, your neighbors, your colleagues, anyone who's doing something that annoys you, and you can apply it to literally any behavior. All right, so as I'm walking you through these 4 components, I want you to keep in mind that this is kind of like tweaking a recipe. Like you're in chemistry class and you're just adding a little here, a little there until you get the exact end product that you want, okay? So little tweaks go a long way. So the 4 components, I love a good acronym, helps me remember stuff. This one is very aptly named ACTS, A-C-T-S. So the first component is ambition, your desire to do the behavior. The second is capability. Can you do it or not? And how easy is it to do or not? The next one is trigger. This is the cue or the prompt to do the thing. And then finally, satisfaction. This is the reward you get from doing it. Of note, every single thing you do, you get a reward from, even if you don't think you do. So you can sit and stew on that after this. Okay, so let's use the example of New Year's resolutions. I hate New Year's resolutions, by the way. Yeah, thank you, yeah. Yeah, we're so aligned. I like this crowd. Okay, so the statistics are something like only 10% of New Year's resolutions actually get met. And it's because people are focusing on the wrong component when they're creating this new behavior. So going back to this, which of these components do you think people are putting the most emphasis on when they want to have, new year, new me goals at the beginning of the year? Oh, I got a bunch of different answers. Ambition. Okay, let me show you a perfect example of this. Okay, so my husband and I, well, lately I haven't been going as regularly, if I'm being really honest, but my husband's a regular gym guy. And so I really paid attention to this phenomenon this year. We went to the gym on January 2nd, and you guys, I was triggered. There were so many people. I felt like I was at Disneyland. Had to wait for every machine. I stuck it out, I stayed, but I was like, this sucks. And I kept going. Probably like 3 or 4 times a week. And the crowd thinned and thinned and thinned. This is the gym on January 15th. I literally took a video because I'm like, you could shoot a cannon through this joint. Look at that. There's one guy back there. That's it. Okay, so why is that? Because they were relying on ambition. Motivation's a very, very fickle friend. Anyone experience that? Yeah. And you also have competing motivations. So January 15th rolls around. Are you more motivated to stay in your nice, cozy bed Or are you more motivated to get out and use this? All of us are smart enough to not live in a climate where it snows, but does anyone know what this is? If you have ever had to scrape ice off a windshield, I'm not joking. I moved from Chicago the first time I did this. I was like, this sucks, I'm going back to California. I'm literally not kidding. So we all know the answer. You would have to be a hyper-disciplined person to actually get out of the warm, cozy bed and go scrape the windshield. You're not going to do it. So what do you do instead? You focus on, anyone want to guess? Okay, that's a good one. Capability, yes. You make it easy. You make it so easy, in fact, that it's like harder not to do it. Okay, so if you can't get a behavior to stick, anyone ever had this happen? You really want to do something, you just can't make it work? Yeah. Well, okay, we have two honest people. So here's the question you ask. You ask yourself, WTF? Okay, but also this one. Where's the friction? You won't forget that. People always remember this. What is making it hard to do? Where is the friction point? So we are going to use an example I heard many of you say, drinking water. Okay, let's talk about the friction point here with this glass of water. The friction point is that, well, all of us have evolved to conserve energy. You're not lazy. It's literally how we have survived through generations. We conserve our energy. So if I have to get up and refill a glass of water 8 times a day, I'm probably not going to do that, right? So this is not a willpower thing. Willpower goes in the same bucket with motivation. Throw the willpower out. Make it easier. What makes it easier? A water bottle. But there's a friction point here too. Anyone have any guesses what it might be? You have to fill it up, but there's also something else a little more, it's so minute you might not think about it. Cleaning it. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, cleaning it, that is a friction point. The lid, yes, the lid. If I have to screw off, actually, wait, let me go back. Okay, so Rebecca and I, we know this wonderful woman, Lori Harder, who created Glossy. I love Glossy. I don't love this water bottle. Sorry, Lori. I only travel with it I only take it when I travel because it won't spill. Good invite to drink more water on that note. I don't like it otherwise because why? I have to unscrew the top. You're probably thinking, that's so stupid. Just unscrew it. But that's the point. It takes very little friction to not do a behavior. So what would be better? Sorry, Lori, again. Get a big 40-ounce Stanley with a handle. I joke that it's my emotional support water bottle. You will never see me out and about without this. I'm either carrying it usually or it's in my car. I even travel, I really take hydrating seriously, you guys. I even travel with like a huge Stanley like dispenser because I don't want to be without water. I don't know, maybe I need to go see somebody about that. But just the sheer fact of having a straw reduces friction. If you don't believe me, go get a water bottle with a straw, see how much more water you drink, and then I want you to DM me and be like, I thought that you were full of, you know what, but you were right. Okay, let's talk about another friction point. Maybe you hate the taste of plain water. I have met a lot of people who have this objection. Okay, there's solutions for that too. You could throw Glossy in it or throw some element sticks, right? Change the taste, get your electrolytes. And I'm walking you through this, by the way, so that you can see, you can apply all of this to any behavior. All right, the next one, oh my gosh, this was me for many years when I lived in an apartment. You might not drink enough water because you got to go out and buy it and lug it into your house. Has anyone been there before? You've been this girl? Dude, that sucks, especially if it's hot out. No, thank you. So what could you do instead? You could install a water filter or you could get water delivered. Here's another one. I experienced this yesterday. Maybe your friction point is that you're traveling and TSA won't let you take the water through, which I think is a complete racket because then you get out and you got to pay $9 for a bottle in the airport. Honestly, it makes me angry. It really does. Anyway, so in all these examples, there's different friction points. There's effort or rigor, I like to call it in the book. You can have different types of rigor. It could be physically rigorous, like the lady carrying all the bottles. Sometimes things are mentally rigorous. Think back to the people who stopped going to the gym by January 15th. The mental rigor of like, what workouts do I do? How do I do it? Is my form right? How do I build a workout? It takes a lot of brain power, right? Your brain, by the way, energy hog. Did you know your brain is about 2% of your body mass and it uses 20% of your brain's or your body's energy. So it likes to save calories. So mental rigor is a big thing. Emotional rigor is another one. That conversation that you've been putting off with your partner or your colleague or whoever it is, whoever's annoying you at the moment, you're avoiding it because it's emotionally rigorous, right? So these are things that can be friction points. Then there's also resources. Time and money are big ones, right? It is a friction point to spend $9 on a bottle of Fiji at the airport. It really is. It could be tools, right? So solving for this water problem. The tool of a water bottle, the tool of Element might solve your problem. And then the final thing is routine. You want to make sure that whatever it is that you are building is within reach of your current routine. Using the gym example again, if they're building a beautiful new gym, but it is in a side of town that you never go to for anything else, do not kid yourself and buy a membership. You're not going to go. It's out of your routine. Okay. So where's the friction? This can be used to stop doing habits as well. I'm going to glaze over this because I could give you lots of examples, but I'm going to use my favorite one that my husband hates that I use. And it is this. We had, when my daughter was a toddler, we lived in a different house that had a pantry with a door that had a doorknob on it. And as soon as she learned to walk and open doorknobs, she was helping herself to snacks all the time, which is a problem on a number of levels. Choking hazard, childhood diabetes, I'm like, my mind's going all these places. I'm like, we got to stop this. So my husband's really handy. He goes to Home Depot, buys a new doorknob with a keyed lock. Well, our daughter stopped snacking, but guess who else did? No, it wasn't me. I'm not the one with the snack problem. He denies this until he's blue in the face. My husband stopped snacking because even though we kept the key to the lock 6 feet away in a drawer, that was enough friction for him to not snack. And also it introduced conscious thought. So if you find yourself doing something mindlessly, can you put a barrier, a friction point of conscious thought in? So I would imagine he's walking to the drawer and he's like, am I actually hungry, or do I just need to go outside and get some fresh air or have a sip of water? Like, am I doing this just on autopilot? So if you want to stop doing something, add friction. One more example of this. Who in here would like to not scroll on their phone while they are in bed? Wow, a lot of liars in here. Okay. If you have truly mastered not doing this, I applaud you. For the rest of us mere mortals, get a 6-inch charging cable. So why does this work? Well, again, the competing motivations, you're more motivated to stay all snugly tucked in than you are to get out to grab your phone. You're also more motivated to wake up with a fully charged phone than you are to scroll. You want to stop something, make it harder to do. Okay, finally, make it deeply satisfying. So back to the scrolling on the phone. Who in here has found themselves in a scroll hole on Instagram or TikTok before? Again, a lot of liars in here. Some honest people though too. No, I'm just joking, kind of. So why do we do that? Because it's deeply rewarding. You've all heard about dopamine, right? Dopamine gets a bad rap, but you can use this exact same reward circuit in your brain for your good. So here's how it would work with a habit. When you remember to do the thing that you want to do, while you are doing it, or immediately after completing it, and by immediate I mean like milliseconds, I want you to celebrate. Now, what does that look like? I meant to get this as a prop. Let's say you have a piece of paper. You wad it up. There's a trash can right over there, and you sink it. Oh, she scores. See, what was that little celebration? What do you do in that moment? That might be your celebration. And a lot of people I work with, well, not a lot, all of the people I work with are like overachievers, and they're like, why should I celebrate something that I should be doing anyway? I want you to reframe that. Hack the reward circuit of your brain, release the dopamine, because when you celebrate, your brain will be like, wait, that feels good. What was I just doing? Yes, reinforcement, exactly. It'll make that association. Do you want to supercharge this? You don't even have to do it in real life. You could visualize it. Visualize yourself doing the behavior and celebrating 10 times. It goes way faster. So, to recap, we've gone through a few stages, and actually this is the method that's in the book. I called it the Higher Self Habits Method, and this is what I really stumbled upon to quit drinking and to just be a generally better, healthier person. First, you become aware. What's holding you back? Where do you want to go? The next thing is you align. What is your desired identity? Because your identity governs everything. It is the thermostat of your life. Next, you audit. What in your life do you need to stop, start, continue? Then activate. What are the behaviors you need to design? Now you know how to do that, right? You've got the 4 components and you just, with curiosity, rejigger them until you get that perfect recipe. And then finally, when you've done this, you ascend. You have become a better version of yourself. Maybe it's marginally better, but that's okay. It's the granular that leads to the grandiose. The cool thing about this too, you may have noticed, we've all been in a downward spiral, probably. Yep, yeah. Oh, hand tap, been there. This is the upward spiral. So you ascend to a new level, and guess what? The process starts again. New things to be aware of, new vision to align to, new habits to audit and activate, and on it goes. Okay, so go back to that comfy bed where you are really ripe, maybe a little crusty even, and you're hearing this story about a beautiful life well lived. Well, this life can be yours. You are at a crossroads today. The question is, will you choose day in, day out, through the minutia, to act as if you are this version of you? And if you do so, you will be. So remember this mantra, be them now. Be her now, be them now, be him now today. So that's the end. Before we close, though, I have a favor to ask. You're probably like, why is this girl holding up a stuffed animal? Okay, so my daughter's 6 now. This is her favorite stuffy. This is Kitty. I know, isn't Kitty? Kitty is really well loved. She sends Kitty with me whenever I go to something like this, and she requests a photo. So could we take a selfie with it? Would that be okay? And then I have free stuff for you and all that kind of stuff afterwards. Okay. Okay, you guys ready? Yes. All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you for obliging me. Okay, Mila will be so happy. All right, so what's next? So habits are foundational. I talked all about the foundation today, and that is what has been my evolution. Habits are the foundational, but I want to go bigger, and I want to have a bigger impact. And how I'm doing that now is helping thought leaders, as Rebecca alluded to. So if you are writing a book, and this is for girls only, sorry men, I invite you to come write it with me in Sedona in September. I should have the dates finalized very soon. I had one in March. It was so fun. We had 12 women. I was cooking 3 meals a day. I'm Italian. My dad's a chef, and so your girl loves to cook. It was great. They got more done in 4 days than they said. One person was like, I wouldn't have done this much in 3 months. One person even finished their first draft while they were there. So if you're writing a book, let's chat about that. If you are launching a podcast, I have a top podcast, as Rebecca mentioned, top 2%. I do the whole thing myself. I have learned a lot, and I've made it really efficient and streamlined. So if you want to do that, but you're scared of the tech or the time, I can help you there. And then finally, if you want to be speaking, well, I'm figuring out this world. I'll be figuring it out with you, and I'm rolling all 3 of these into one thing, so we could chat about that too. And then if you're ready to level up, you just want better habits, connect with me there. Okay, so here's the free stuff. So there's a free habits guide. There's also a free visualization where I actually walk you through meeting your higher self. And then there's info about the programs, and then of course you can connect with me. And that's it, that's all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for the attention.
All right, so we're going to do something we do every month. This is the time to share your biggest takeaways. I forgot the microphone. So we're going to pass this mic around, and I'm going to get a clip of you saying what your biggest takeaway was. Just a statement about what you didn't. Hi, Melanie, welcome. It's something that you're walking away with.
Before I even heard her speak today, I invited her to be a co-host on the television show. So hopefully she will be able to speak like she did today to this group, to many, many people watching at any time or on the archives. And she can send the link all over the world. So we'll expand her universe. There'll be a lot more people listening to her speech.
My take, many things I got. But one of the things was when we want to raise our vibration, when we want to go a little bit higher, the company we choose, even the environment, who we hang out, that could help us to raise our vibration. Yeah. That is, it was a great reminder for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I really appreciated the taking us back to the Latin roots of the word decide, because to cut things is, we have so many things competing for our attention, for our time and energy these days, and I feel like sometimes it's a lot just to kind of go silent and listen and say what's really calling me, and so that, just that word decide, that was really powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm in the middle of reading her book, so building my habits as I go. But I think when you said going back to putting yourself in the place where you're older and thinking back to your life and how just tiny little habits can make such a difference in the whole trajectory of your whole life. And so getting my butt out and walking every day will change my health for the better, so that maybe I am 97 and a half instead of 87 and a half. Something like that. But yeah, it's such great reinforcement. Thank you.
Thank you.
WTF, greatest reframe I've ever heard. Because
Thank you.
WTF the first way is super demotivating. You're beating yourself up. But what's the friction is very empowering and helps you step into a simple change. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I loved all of it. It resonated with me in every way. But what I really am excited about is sharing it with my daughter, who's 24, who probably needs this more than she realizes as she goes on through her life. So, quick question though. Is it on Audible?
It is, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All of this was terrific and very motivating and inspiring, and the exercise about the habit makes me especially grateful. I've been working on that, and I'm doing the hydration. It's tied to another thing that I always do, and I don't think habit is a scary word. It is a real tool. So thank you for reinforcing that and giving me some fresh eyes to look at how those get built and then support us. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I needed to hear the overachievers need to celebrate. That is me, and I appreciate being reminded that there's a win there, because I also am addicted to endorphins. So I'm like, oh yeah, why not celebrate? And I always think of just even the picture, like when you think of celebrating, it can be as easy as like putting your hands up, like the body language of like, yes, I was late today, but I still made it. Yes.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing that I've noticed I was injured about 10 years ago in a work injury, and I was disabled, and I started a new habit, which was a set of exercises I do every morning. Now, I've been doing a permutation of that for 25, 30 years, but I really started doing it every morning, and it brought me back. It made me able to move normally every day, and if I don't do those exercises, I still have issues. But getting into that habit of every morning for 15 minutes doing this set of exercises really changed my life. So all I can say is there are habits that can really change your life, and they aren't that hard, because this set of exercise I do in bed. When I wake up, I just lay there in bed and I begin with my eyes closed, and at a certain point my eyes open, and at a certain point I'm standing outside my bed, and I'm done with my exercises.
And you didn't know it, but you were leveraging capability there. You're making it
Leveraging
easy.
capability, minimizing friction.
You said that you stopped drinking alcohol, but you know, right now you're having 2 years sober. Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's fantastic. The difficult thing I find, it's not the alcohol, but for me it's eating at night. So how did it go between the first day you stopped, like the day you decided I'm not drinking anymore, and the first week? You know, how was it for you? Because it's right now 2 years after that, it's kind of easier to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's for me it's more abstract than if you told me, you know, this is the way it went the first 2 weeks or something like that. I just want to hear that.
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. I feel like alcohol is a little bit different than food, because you have to you have to eat to live, right? You don't need alcohol to live. So it's an easier thing to like completely cut off. I did experience something called the pink cloud. Any of you who have gotten sober, you might know about it. It's that like you see everything through like rose-colored glasses once all these toxins are out of your system for like the first, for me it was probably like 40 days. Everything was just like brighter and shinier, like life in Technicolor. So that really helped me. But to answer your question, I think to quit eating at night, leverage the factor, like leverage the components. So how can you make it harder? One of the ways you can do it is by, what's your snack of choice at night? Do you mind if I ask?
Chocolate. Any kind of chocolate.
All right, I got you, girl. Here's what I want you to try. I want you to put the chocolate on a shelf somewhere in your kitchen, or it doesn't even have to be in the kitchen. It could be in like a weird storage closet or something. Actually, that might be better because then you're gonna have conscious thought of like, why am I going to the linen closet to eat chocolate? This is weird. But put it somewhere that you need a stool to get to it.
Oh, that's me for everything. I'm pretty sure.
Well, maybe
so
like,
I overcome that.
then maybe it's, I mean, this might sound ridiculous. Again, it's like experimenting with what works. Yeah, maybe the garage. Oh, that would never work in Arizona, though. I'd have melted chocolate everywhere. Can you imagine? Maybe it's like a utility ladder or like something that you don't keep in the kitchen that you have to like go to the garage to get. You just want to add in as much effort as possible. And then the other thing that I would try would be to introduce as much conscious thought as possible. Like maybe writing like a love note to yourself on a Post-it and putting it on the chocolate of like, you love yourself, or I love myself. Do I really want this?
You can still stop right now.
You can, yep, yeah. Hopefully that will help. I know it's not an easy one to unwind.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And before you eat the chocolate, then after you finish your meal, brush your teeth.
That,
And then
yes,
you're gonna be like,
hot
"I have to
tip.
brush my teeth again, I'm not gonna eat the chocolate."
That is a really hot tip. Really hot tip.
We'll both put them both together.
So everybody, to wrap this up, like it or not, email is still the best way to get updates and join someone's world. And so we have passed out Stay Connected forms for you to sign up for 3 different lists. Our opening speaker, Rebecca, our keynote speaker, Alessia, and today's sponsor, Monterey on Tonight with Gary Morris. And you can sign up and then hand those in before you leave this room. They're not for you to take home. So hand them in, and then they will get those, and you can sign up. So with that, everybody, let's give Alessia a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
If anyone would like a book too, I brought as many as I could put in a garment bag and a carry-on, which is not very many. So if you would like one, I would love to sign it for you. So yeah, you can find me in the back for that.
So this is your chance to come up and speak for 1 minute or less to describe a grand opening, a book release, an event you have, a workshop that's coming up, and we'll do about 6 or 7 of these. So come on up here one at a time, and we'll start a line over here. We'll start with Mark. 1 minute or less.
Hey everybody. So Monday, what's it called? Creative gatherings at Eddie Mitsumoto's gallery in Carmel. So every month there's a creative gathering similar to this. It's smaller at Eddie Mitsumoto's gallery in Carmel between 5th and 6th on Mission in Carmel. She has a gathering, and in each time somebody speaks or 2 people speak, and everybody introduces themselves and shares what they're doing creatively for that week. I'll be speaking on Monday at her gallery about movement, about healing through movement. So I'll be talking about why it's so important to move regularly and continuously every day, or continually every day, at least 5 minutes every hour. I'll be talking about what types of movements are optimal. So if you guys want to try something new, and come to that creative event.
Hi, my name is Sal. I'm a local content creator where I like to show off the different experience one can have here in Monterey County. Recently, I partnered up with Monterey Bay Food Tours to do an exclusive food tour of my local favorites. So my first event will be May 9th at 6 o'clock p.m. And we're gonna meet downtown Monterey, and we can just go have some drinks, have some food, laugh, cry, and have a good time. Thank you. Hopefully I see you there. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany. And we have the Tour House annual garden party that's coming up, and it's not this weekend, it's the following, on Sunday, May 4th, from 2 to 5. And this event is really special. We celebrate poetry and springtime in the garden, and there's going to be music and refreshments, and I will be there, and I'd love to see you there. I have some flyers in the back, and I hope you can make it. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. So good to see you. On Sunday, once a month, I do a community breathwork class. It's breathwork, journaling, Reiki integration over at Salty Soul Sanctuary. It's at the Plaza in Carmel. And it is a give back class. All the proceeds go to the Grand Pals program for Carmel River Elementary and the Carmel Foundation. So it pairs up, what do you want to call it? Mature adults with third graders. Once a month. It's the sweetest program. My son's part of it, and I'm a volunteer. And it is a perfect way to integrate what you learned today. So this doesn't just, isn't just information, but you can really integrate it. And what we do is we really focus on what do you want to create in your life? So what is that higher self that you want to step into? And then what is the how? And we use breathwork, Reiki, and journaling to create a clear path so you can carve out a little time for yourself to actually now take the steps that Alessia has given you. So it is 1 to 2:30 p.m., Salty Soul Sanctuary. I think it's $30, and again, proceeds go to Carmel Youth Foundation. Right? On Sunday, this Sunday. And you can find it at the Salty Soul Sanctuary website, or come find me after, grab my number, and I can text you details. And it's pretty small. We usually keep it to 10 to 12 people. So lots of opportunity to have shares and ask questions.
I always love doing Mother's. I do sound therapy, sound healing, and I always love to do Mother's Day in honor of my mother. But who thinks Mother's Day should only be one day? No. And I love to do sound baths on Mother's Day, but I'm a mother, so I'm starting Mother's Day Monday. So Monday night, first backyard sound bath outside. Some of Jamie Sue I know has come. So Monday, May 12th, 6:30, backyard sound bath. Honor the mother within, the mother around. All mothers everywhere. Oh, and Carmel Sound Healing. So I'll post on Instagram, Carmel Sound Healing. Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Jess. This is my first time here. I am in the process of leaving my corporate job at Google. Let's talk.
Oh.
Yeah, let's talk.
I'm going to take you down a bad path.
And I just opened a wellness studio in Carmel called The Lighthouse. I have cards with me, so if anybody is interested, let's talk more. And the intention of this space is to bring together people who have something beautiful to offer, healing, safety, movement, and people who want to receive. And so I would love for anybody who'd like to be a part of it, please come find me and let's talk.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Justine Stock. I am the managing director and co-founder of New Canon Theater Company. We are a local nonprofit theater company, professional. We've been on the peninsula for about 3 years, and we are opening our season, our 4th season, on May 15th, and we'll be opening at the First Theater. So after 30 years of doors being closed, $200,000 renovation that State Parks and the Historic Association did together will be coming in. It's the first time that a professional theater company is actually gracing the stage there after all the vaudeville and all the, the sailors doing their shows. We're coming in with an Iliad, which is the modern day retelling of the Iliad, Homer's The Iliad. It's a two-hander. So there is the poet, which is our lead female brilliant actress, Patty Gallagher, who does a ton of work with Santa Cruz Shakespeare, and the violinist on stage, who is the muse, who will be kind of conjuring the story. You don't want to miss it. Opens May 15th until the 25th, and so that's going to run for 2 weeks, and then poof, it's gone. And then after that, we'll be doing Othello at the Forest Theater, so bookending 2 historic venues, and then we've got a lot more planned. So go to newcanontheater.org. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous weekend.
There is a 100-year-old theater, a 500-seat outdoor in the Redwoods.
Thank you, everybody.
Carmel.
Gosh, we've got some great events coming up. If you want to stay connected, find Creative Mornings on Instagram. For those of you who made announcements, please tag Creative Mornings in a story, and then we'll share it there. Today would be a great time to do it while it's top of mind. Do it right away, and then I'll be sure to share that, or tag us in a post. Now, next month, I'm going to invite our next guest speaker who's here today. She's been to many of our events. She's an old friend of mine, and she's got a lot going on, and she's going to tell us about our next month's theme. Let's welcome Danielle Galvan.
Thank you so much, Mike. This is a really beautiful morning. I'm super excited to talk next week. So that will be, next month, which will be revival. The talk will be from source, a revival in real time. We will learn about our cellular intelligence and what it means for our inner system to be back online, right? To feel our clarity, our rhythm, and our sufficiency fully powered. So next month we'll get together and I'll introduce you to your personal blueprint on how you get back to you. And I do not say that as a suggestion. I say that as a matter of fact. So we'll see everybody next month.
All right, thank you, Danielle. May 23rd this time, not the last Friday of the month, but May 23rd. Put it in your calendar for revival. That's it for this month's Creative Mornings. Thank you all. See you next month. Bye-bye.